To the MCQ solving, that is sample questions for legal aptitude. This is part 10 of the series and I am CS Alok who will be discussing these MCQs. So in legal aptitude, as you know, it is a basis for all your law subjects which we study in company secretary course. So the first question here is, dash of the Indian Constitution guarantees 6 categories of fundamental rights. So they have given the option part 2, part 3, part 5, part 8. So the answer is part 3. We know very well part 3 of the Constitution of India guarantees fundamental rights. So the important word is guarantee. That is for all the citizens of India and also people who are in India, even for example foreigners. So that is part 3 of the Constitution of India. So you should always remember that part 3 of the Constitution of India guarantees 6 fundamental rights, and that is for all the citizens. Right to equality, right to life, correct? Freedoms, all that will come into picture. Right to practice any religion, all these things. No person, so that is the answer is B. Second question is, no person shall be deprived of his life or dash except according to the procedure established by law. So no person shall be deprived of his life. So now we know that it is a fundamental right. It is Article 21. So Article 21 of the Constitution says right to life and personal liberty. Right to life and personal liberty. It is not common liberty. It is not individual liberty. It is not personal liability. It is personal liberty. That means you can have any views of your own. You can express anything you want. And you can move around anywhere in India. Right to life and personal liberty. As long as you don't act against the country. Yes, you cannot tell India should be broken into pieces. And you cannot wage war against India. But otherwise, you have all the freedom. That is what they are saying. No person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty. Personal liberty. Yes. Personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. So there the government can make some laws where your personal liberty can be curtailed for the safety of the country, security of the country, things like that. So that is what we need to understand. So that is Article 21. So the answer is option number A. Next we come to, which of the following agreements cannot be enforced? What are they asking? See, in every question, identify the keywords. Identify the keywords. What are the keywords? Which of the following agreements cannot be enforced and confers no rights on either party? Is it agreement to sell, void agreement, valid agreement, quasi contract? What are they asking? Let us understand the question properly. Which of the following agreement cannot be enforced? It can't be enforced at all, and there are no rights for both the parties. No rights for both the parties. Agreement to sell, can we enforce? Yes. Is there no rights for both the parties? Actually, both the parties have the rights in agreement to sell, so no problem. Next we come to valid agreement. So valid agreement is it valid agreement cannot be enforced? Of course it can be enforced. Yes, you can go to the court of law also and enforce a valid agreement. So the question is, which of the following cannot be enforced, not which can be enforced, which cannot be enforced and no rights on either party. So valid agreement can be, so that is not the answer. And quasi contract. So quasi contract means it is like a contract. So it is very similar to a contract. So quasi contract can be enforced. Can be enforced. So the answer is obviously void agreement. So void agreement cannot be enforced because it has no legal validity. Correct? Void is it has no legal validity. It's not voidable also. It's completely void. No legal validity. It's a void agreement. Cannot be enforced. And no rights on the either party. So suppose there are two people. Yes. Arun and Arjun. They have a contract. So either party don't have rights in a void agreement, but they have rights in agreement to sell, in valid agreement, in quasi contract. But in void, They don't have rights. That is what we understand. Next question, which is a memory related question. Which of the following section of Indian Contract Act defines coercion? See, the answer is section number 15, coercion, but it is a complete memory test, so you should know the other things also. Misrepresentation is section 18, undue influence is section 16, section 25 is agreements without consideration is void unless it is written. This is what we have studied in the video classes also. So that is section 25. So this is a memory question, but you should know this. Which of the following section defines coercion? Coercion is what? If there is a force. Somebody is forcing you to get into a contract. You are pressurizing. Somebody is pressurizing you to get into a contract. So that is a coercion. Okay. Next, the question is actually, which of the following does not create vicarious liability? That means where there is no legal relationship. That is the question. Which of the following does not create vicarious liability? No legal relationship. The options are debtor and creditor, owner and employee, master and servant, trustee and trust. So there is a relationship between owner and employee. That cannot be the answer. There is a relationship between master and servant. That is a vicarious liability. It cannot be the answer. Truster and trust, there is also relationship. That means master is responsible for the actions of the servant. So master becomes responsible for the actions of the servant. Same way, trust and trustee, owner and employee. But debtor and creditor are no way related to each other. So that way, there is no vicarious liability between debtor and creditor, and that is what we need to understand. So that is the answer. So that is, we understood about vicarious liability, we understood about coercion, we understood about void agreements, it cannot be enforced, and we understood in the Indian Constitution no person can be taken away. Deprived means no one can take away any person's life or personal liberty except any procedure established by law. And most importantly, part 3 of the Indian Constitution talks about the fundamental rights. So that was the CSEET MCQs on legal aptitude. Make sure that you join the next part where we discuss more questions on legal aptitude and understand the concepts for your CSEET exam. See you in the next part.